You ever look at a price tag and just kind of wonder, where did that number really come from? Well, today we're going to crack that code. We are going to follow the entire journey of a product's price, right from the very beginning to that final number you see at the checkout.
So, picture this. You walk into a store, you see something you really want, and you check the price. But have you ever stopped to really think about that specific number? Like, how did they land on that exact amount? It's not just pulled out of thin air. Not at all. It's a super calculated journey, and we're going to follow every single step.
Okay, so first things first, before a store can even begin to think about profits or sales or any of that stuff, the whole process kicks off with one single core question, a question that every business out there has to answer.
And that question is, simply, how much did it cost us to get this thing in the first place? This, my friends, is the cost price, or CP for short. It's the rock bottom price the store paid just to have that item sitting on their shelf. You can think of it as the starting line in a race. Every single number we're going to talk about today starts right here.
Okay, so the store has the product, they know exactly what they paid for it, and now comes the moment of truth. The sale. This one transaction is where they find out if they made a good business move or a pretty costly mistake. And you know what? It really just boils down to two possible outcomes. It's that simple. If the selling price, that's the price you pay, is higher than their cost price, boom, that's a profit. Easy. But if they end up selling it for less than what they paid, well, that's a loss. And trust me, the entire game of retail is to stay on that happy, profitable left side of the screen. But how much profit are we actually talking about? Well, businesses have a pretty simple three-step formula for this. So, step one, you find the raw profit. That's just the selling price minus the cost price. Step two, and this part is absolutely crucial, you divide that profit number by the original cost price. Then finally, step three, you just multiply that by 100 and you've got your percentage.
Okay, let's put this to the test with a real example. Let's say a trader buys an item for $1,500. That's their cost price. Then they manage to sell it for $1,800. So the question is, what's their profit percent?
All right, let's do the math. We take the selling price, $1,800, and subtract the cost, $1,500. That gives us a profit of $300. Now we take that $300 and divide it by the original cost of $1,500. That gets us 0.2. Multiply by 100, and there it is, a nice, clean 20% profit on the sale. Okay, so cost price and selling price. That all makes sense, right? But we've all been there. The price you see on the sticker isn't always the price you actually end up paying. Well, that initial price has its own special name. And you guessed it, its own purpose in this whole story. Yep, we're talking about the marked price, or MP. That's the number printed right there on the label. But look at that last line. It says it isn't always the final selling price. So what on earth could change it? Well, it all comes down to one of the most powerful tools in a retailer's playbook. It is the entire reason you see those giant bright red sale signs plastered all over shop windows. Look, a discount is almost never a random act of kindness. It's pure strategy. Retailers use them for all sorts of reasons, to pull in new customers, to just sell more stuff faster. And here's a big one, to clear out all the old inventory to make room for new products. It's all about keeping things moving and keeping the cash flowing. And the best part? The math is incredibly simple. The final selling price, the number that actually rings up at the register, is just the original marked price on the sticker, minus whatever the discount is. That's it. That's the golden rule. And this is a really, really important point to lock in. The second a discount is applied, that new lower price officially becomes the selling price for that sale. You got to remember that rule because we are definitely going to need it for the final part of our puzzle. All right, we've got all the pieces now, don't we? We've got cost price, selling price, marked price, and the discount. So now let's put it all together and see how a real retailer uses these concepts to solve a tricky, real-world pricing problem. So here's the challenge for our retailer. The cost price for an item is $2,500. They have a goal. They absolutely want to make a 25% profit on it. But they also want to be able to offer a 15% discount to get people in the door. So the big question becomes, what price do they have to put on that sticker, the marked price, so that even after they give that 15% discount, they still walk away with their target 25% profit? Now this is where the real strategy comes into play. All right, let's break it down step by step. First, just forget about the discount for a second.
we need to figure out the absolute minimum price they need to sell this thing for. They want a 25% profit on their $2,500 cost. Well, 25% of 2,500 is $625. So we add that to the original cost, and we get their target selling price, $3,125. They absolutely must get this amount to hit their profit goal.
Now, this is the really clever part. We have to work backwards. We know that our target price, that $3,125, is the price the customer pays after getting a 15% discount. So, if 15% is gone, that means $3,125 is what's left. It's 85% of the full original sticker price. So to find the full 100%, all we have to do is a little reverse math.
So you take that 3,125, you divide it by 85 to find out what 1% is, and then you multiply it by 100 to get the whole thing. And there is our answer. The price on the label has to be $3,676.47. Pretty specific, right? But that way, when they offer that 15% discount, the final price lands exactly on $3,125, and they hit their 25% profit goal. See? Every single number has a job to do.
So there you have it. We followed the entire journey, right from the initial cost price all the way to that final sticker on the shelf. The next time you walk into a store and see a huge 50% off sign, you'll know that original price wasn't just a random number. It was carefully, strategically calculated so that even at half price, the store is probably still getting exactly what it wants. It kind of makes you look at those sales signs a little differently, doesn't it?